Sir.
Where are you headed? Just going to my office.
Your office in the Capitol building?
Yes.
Huh. Okay, sure. I'm going to need to see some ID.
I have my credentials right here, but I'm already running late.
I don't care where you're running to. You're not going anywhere until I say so.
Sir, where are you headed? Just going to my office. Your office in the Capitol building? Yes, sir. Okay, sure. I'm gonna need to see some ID. I have my credentials right here, but I'm already running late for. I don't care where you're running to. You're not going anywhere until I say so. Officer Daniel Merrick had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 47 minutes, stock prices would crash by $800 billion. Emergency meetings would be called, and a lawsuit would make headlines around the world. The man he just stopped was Dr. Marcus Thompson. He was the chairman of the Federal Reserve. That means he controlled interest rates for the entire country. He was one of the most powerful people in finance on the planet. Dr. Thompson had worked in government for 23 years. He had met with Congress over 40 times. He had breakfast with presidents. His face had been on the cover of Time magazine twice. And now he was being held outside his own building. Why? Because a cop saw a black man in a suit and decided he did not belong. The security cameras caught everything, every single second. Before I continue, let me ask you something. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone in power? Drop your story in the comments. Officer Merrick had no idea who he had just stopped, and he was about to ruin his entire career. Dr. Marcus Elijah Thompson was the chairman of the Federal Reserve Board. That is the most important job in American money policy. When he speaks, stock markets move. When he makes a decision, it affects every bank in the country. He had a PhD from MIT. He had an MBA from Harvard. He had worked in government for 23 years. 2 different presidents had asked for his advice. 18 months earlier, the Senate voted to make him Fed chairman. He was the first black man to ever hold that job in over 100 years. Here is what Officer Merrick did not know. Dr. Thompson had a direct phone line to the president. He had higher security clearance than most CIA directors. He knew every major banker in the world by first name. That morning, he was supposed to speak to Congress about inflation. He was running 4 minutes late because of traffic. He had walked this same path to his office over 800 times. No one had ever stopped him before. On this Wednesday morning, Dr. Thompson was just trying to get to work. Officer Daniel Merrick had been a Capitol police officer for 11 years, but his file told a different story than his badge. He was 43 years old. He had tried to become a sergeant 3 times. He failed every time. He was stuck at the same rank for years. Now here is what made this worse. He had 14 complaints against him in 11 years. 14, and almost every single one had the same pattern. In 2019, he stopped a black man who worked for Congress. The man had his badge out. Merrick held him for 22 minutes anyway. A complaint was filed. Nothing happened. In 2021, he stopped the same Latino worker 3 times in 1 month. The man filed a complaint for harassment. It was thrown out. In 2022, he blocked a black female lawyer from entering the building. She was there for a Supreme Court case. She had her credentials on. Merrick said she looked lost. He got a warning, then they erased it from his record. Other officers had a nickname for him. They called him the gatekeeper. It was not a compliment. 2 officers had asked not to work with him. His boss wrote in a review that his behavior was a problem, but nobody did anything. For 11 years, the warning signs were there. Everyone saw them. Nobody acted. But on this morning, Merrick picked the wrong person to stop, and this time, the whole world would find out. It was Wednesday, March 12th. The time was 8:47 in the morning. The weather was cold with light rain. Dr. Thompson was walking toward the east entrance of the Federal Reserve Building. This is where American money policy gets made. It sits on Constitution Avenue in Washington, D.C. It was a normal Wednesday. Security was a little tighter because the chairman was speaking to Congress that day. News vans were already parked outside. About 15 people were walking into the building at the same time. Officer Merrick was standing at the entrance. His partner, Officer Patricia Womack, was 40 feet away at the car checkpoint. 4 security cameras pointed right at the entrance. Dr. Thompson walked up. He wore a navy blue suit and a red tie. His Federal Reserve badge was clipped to his jacket. You could see it clearly. He was checking his phone, looking at his notes for his speech. He nodded at Officer Womack. She nodded back. She knew who he was. Then Merrick stepped in front of him. He blocked his path. Thompson thought maybe it was just a routine question. He was wrong. If stories like this matter to you, hit that subscribe button now. You need to see what happens next. Merrick spoke first. I need to see your ID now. Thompson pointed to his badge. My credentials are right here, officer. I'm the chairman of. I don't care what that says. I need government ID. Thompson stayed calm. He pulled out his driver's license. Here's my license. I really need to get inside. I'm speaking to Congress in. You're not going anywhere until I check this. How do I know you didn't steal that badge? Thompson kept his voice steady. Officer, you can call inside. They will tell you who I am right away. I decide what I call. You don't give me orders. I'm not giving orders. I'm asking for basic respect. Respect, you want respect, then stop acting suspicious. Thompson paused. What exactly is suspicious about walking to my own office? Merrick leaned in. Your attitude, for one. The way you're dressed doesn't mean anything to me. The way I'm dressed. Anyone can put on a suit. Thompson took a breath. I would like your badge number, please. Merrick's face changed. Oh, so now you're threatening me? That's obstruction. Asking for a badge number is my right. Turn around, hands on the wall, now. Inside the building, a security guard noticed what was happening. He started walking toward the door. Officer Womack looked over. She started walking toward them too. A woman nearby stopped. She was a congressional staffer. Wait, isn't that Chairman Thompson? A man pulled out his phone. I'm recording this. That's the Fed chair. Merrick grabbed Thompson's arm. He pushed him against the wall. He started searching him. Thompson did not fight back. He spoke clearly. I am not resisting. I am complying. Thompson's briefcase fell. Papers went everywhere. Those papers were classified notes for his speech to Congress. Security officers inside the building saw everything. They started running toward the door. But here is what Merrick did not know. Dr. Thompson's chief of staff was watching from a window upstairs. She had already called the Secretary of the Treasury. Her next call was going to the White House. Type the word justice in the comments if you think Merrick crossed the line. The door burst open. James Chen, the head of Fed Security, came running out. Officer, stand down. That is Chairman Thompson. Merrick did not move. I don't care if he's the president. I'm doing my job. Chen held up a tablet. It showed Dr. Thompson's official photo and biography. It was from the Federal Reserve's own website. This is our system. Behind our firewall, you are looking at the real thing. Officer Womack arrived. Her face was pale. Danny, that's really him. I've seen him on the news. Merrick still would not back down. Anyone can fake a website. Chen stared at him. This is the Federal Reserve's private system. You can't fake this. By now, people had gathered. 3 of them were recording on their phones. A woman stepped forward. Her name was Margaret Holloway. She worked at the Congressional Budget Office. I was in a meeting with Chairman Thompson yesterday. This is him. What you're doing is wrong. A Fed security officer named Derek Washington spoke up. Sir, I've worked here for 9 years. The chairman walks past my desk every day. Let him go. A tourist named Thomas Chen held up his phone. I got the whole thing on video. You pushed him against a wall. The whole world is going to see this. Merrick finally let go, but it was too late. A police supervisor arrived within minutes. Her name was Lieutenant Sandra Morrison. She had been with Capitol Police for 18 years. She looked at the scene. She checked the footage. Her face went white. She grabbed her radio. We have a situation, chairman level. I need command here now. She turned to Merrick. His photo is in our daily briefing every single day. Merrick tried to explain. I was just following rules I didn't recognize. He's been on the cover of Time magazine twice. She held out her hand. You're done. Turn in your weapon now. Merrick handed over his gun. His hands were shaking. By this point, the Secretary of the Treasury was on the phone with the Capitol Police Chief. The White House was writing a statement, and in New York, traders were starting to worry. The Fed chairman had missed his morning call with market experts. Nobody knew why, but everyone was about to find out. Let me know in the comments, what would you have done in Dr. Thompson's place? Within 14 minutes, the Capitol Police Chief arrived. Her name was Angela Rodriguez. She almost never came to scenes herself. This time, she did. The Secret Service sent someone too. The FBI Civil Rights Division was told within the hour. Before lunch, an official investigation had started. Now they looked at what Merrick had said, and none of it held up. Merrick claimed Thompson was not showing his badge properly, but 4 witnesses said the badge was clearly visible. 3 cameras showed it too. Merrick claimed Thompson was acting suspicious, but the body camera footage showed Thompson W. as calm the whole time. He never raised his voice. He never made a threat. Merrick claimed he stopped everyone he did not know, but here is the truth. In the 15 minutes before he stopped Thompson, 11 other people walked past him. He stopped 0 of them. All 11 were white. The department took action right away. Merrick was put on leave. Capitol Police put out a short statement within 2 hours. Dr. Thompson's speech to Congress was pushed back 90 minutes. That had not happened in 12 years. The stock market noticed. When traders heard the Fed chairman was delayed, they got nervous. They did not know why. The S&P 500 dropped almost 1% just on that news. Dr. Thompson went to a private room to calm down. He called his wife. "I'm okay, I'm safe. It happened again." He still gave his speech that afternoon. He talked about inflation for 3 hours. He was calm and professional the whole time. But while he was talking, something else was happening. Someone was uploading the video to Twitter. By the time Thompson finished, the internet had already made up its mind. If this story is making you feel something, hit subscribe. We put out videos like this every week. Here is how fast the video spread. At 10:14 in the morning, a tourist named Thomas Chen posted the first clip. His caption said, "Just watched a Capitol cop slam the Fed chair against a wall." By 11:00, 50,000 people had seen it. By 12:30, Reuters confirmed who the victim was, 500,000 views. By 2:00, CNN, MSNBC, and Fox were all running the story. The hashtag Fed chair detained was trending. By 4:00, when the stock market closed, 8 million people had watched. By midnight, 47 million people had seen it. It was trending in 12 countries. And then came the market crash. When the video went viral, traders got scared. They worried about what it meant for the Fed. They worried about the government. In the last hour of trading, the stock market dropped over 2%. Bond prices moved sharply. The dollar dropped against other currencies. Over the next 2 days, the total damage was $847 billion in lost value. One comment got shared more than any other. It said, "If they'll do this to the Fed chair, imagine what they do to the rest of us." Another comment said, "He was calmer than I would have been. That's survival training." Capitol Police released a statement defending Merrick. It made things worse. People dug into public records. They found his 14 complaints. They found the pattern. Now everybody knew. Share this story if you think more people need to see what happened. 23 days after the incident, Dr. Thompson filed a lawsuit. His legal team was serious. One of his lawyers used to work for the Supreme Court. The lawsuit named 3 defendants: Officer Merrick, the Capitol Police, and the Capitol Police Board. The lawsuit said Thompson's civil rights were violated. It said he was stopped without cause. It said he was treated differently because of his race. Thompson asked for $25 million. Now here is what came out during the investigation. They got Merrick's full complaint history, 14 complaints, a clear pattern. They found emails where bosses called his behavior a problem, but nobody wanted to fight the police union, so nothing was done. They found training records. Merrick had skipped 3 required classes on bias. No one made him go. Then something bigger happened. 6 other black professionals came forward. They had all been stopped by Merrick before. None of them had reported it until now. The Department of Justice opened its own case. A grand jury met. Merrick was charged with a federal crime, violating someone's civil rights while on duty. Here is how it ended. The civil lawsuit was settled for $18.7 million. Capitol Police admitted they were wrong. They agreed to make major changes. They had to give a public apology. Merrick pleaded guilty to a lesser charge. He got 18 months of probation. He had to do 200 hours of community service, and he was banned from ever working in law enforcement again. He was fired, he lost his pension, his career was over. The settlement money did not go to Dr. Thompson, he gave it to civil rights groups. He said the money was never the point. What he wanted was change. 6 months later, Dr. Thompson gave a speech at the National Press Club. The room was completely full. He started with something personal. I have been stopped by police before. Every black man in America has a story. Most of us have more than one. But I never expected it at the door of my own office, a building I have walked into almost 1,000 times. My wife could not sleep for a week. My children asked if I was going to be okay. I am 57 years old. I run the Federal Reserve, and my kids were scared for my life. Then he talked about something bigger. I have resources that most people don't: good lawyers, public attention, power. What happens to the person who doesn't have those things? The young worker, the janitor, the visitor? I know the answer. Nothing happens. They become just another number. He had a message for others who have been through this. Write it down, report it, even when you think nothing will change. Your experience is real. Your dignity matters. And he had a message for the system. 14 complaints were filed against this officer. 14, and nothing happened until he stopped me. We can do better. We must do better. Studies show that black people are 2.5 times more likely to be stopped by police than white people. Over 75% of black professionals say they have been racially profiled at work. In 5 years, Capitol Police received over 800 bias complaints. Only 23 led to any punishment. This case was different because the victim had power. He had cameras, he had lawyers, he had the whole world watching. But what about everyone else? So let me ask you, do we want a system where 14 complaints mean nothing, where it takes a Fed chairman getting pushed against a wall for anyone to act? Do we want justice that only works when the stock market cares? Do we want to keep saying it's just a few bad officers when the pattern is written in the files? Because if we don't fix how complaints are handled, if we don't remove officers with a history, if we don't treat every person's dignity as equal, then we are just waiting. Waiting for the next Officer Merrick, the next Dr. Thompson, the next $800 billion crash. And next time, the victim might not survive to tell the story. Comment below if you believe 14 warnings should have been enough. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button right now. Click the bell too. We are going to keep telling these stories. We are going to keep asking the hard questions. We are going to keep pushing for real change. This was not just about one cop and one chairman. It was about a system that only worked because the victim was more powerful than the people who failed him. That is not justice, that is luck, and luck is not good enough. See you in the next one.